Fitch Ratings has established local and regional government scorecards for the German lender, French departments and French cities, Spanish autonomous communities, and Canadian provinces. This video is an introduction to the local and regional government scorecard for the German lender. It includes a sector view, which shows a map with all the 16 German lender and the core ratios according to our criteria, which is shown as key metrics. Also included are other metrics that belong to financial performance. And finally, socioeconomic metrics like population or GDP per capita. In the graph, the states are shown with different blue colors, and the darker the color is, the better the performance. For instance, economic liability burden is showing Bavaria as the best performer. The user is free to choose among these ratios from the drop-down menu. For instance, if the user is choosing fiscal debt burden, then it is again cleaning up the map, and the user is seeing the outcome for all the German states, with dark blue being the best performer and light blue being the worst performer. Down below, one can see all the details on the 16 lenders' metrics. The bar charts allow one easily to compare them visually. Then there is an individual view. The example is showing Baden-Württemberg, and it is showing the land positioning versus its peers. Again, considering the ratios, which you have already seen as a sector view. The user is again enabled to choose among these states in the drop-down menu. And if the user is choosing, for instance, Bavaria, then the map will change. And again, the user is seeing the land positioning relative to its peers. The user can also have a detailed look at Bavaria's historical financials over the last 5 years, looked at through the same lens we use in our credit analysis, and focus on the main ratios that we have already seen in sector view. Now moving to the scenario tool. The scenario tool is also available for all of the German states. Here in the example, it is set to Lower Saxony. It includes historical data and the historical average. This data is predetermined. Users can enter their preferred macro and issuer-specific assumptions in the main assumptions table in blue. The red figures are based on macroeconomic assumptions from the Fitch Sovereign Group, and users can refer to the Global Economic Outlook report, published quarterly for further details. The scenario tool output table is shown here. It is referencing the core metrics according to Fitch's criteria, and the reference metrics are used to calculate the last 3-year average. And at the final end of the table, the user is seeing the recommended financial profile based on the reference metrics. Again, the user can feel free to change the reference metrics to those calculated according to their assumptions. For instance, if the user would like to stress a bit more, then the economic liability burden can be adjusted, and the user sees that the financial profile will change. If you find the assumptions for the 4 key metrics are done, then there is also a corresponding final financial profile per metric. This ends up in a recommended final financial profile score, which the user can change if they feel another financial profile to be more suitable. For instance, the A outcome, which is recommended, can be chosen by the user using the drop-down menu. The same for the risk profile. This is predetermined to be stronger for the German lender, but if the user feels it more appropriate, this can also be changed to high mid-range or even lower. Once this is done, then there is the final output of the Standalone Credit Profile category, or SCP, that is recommended, meaning the combination of the financial profile and the risk profile is ending in a recommended SCP category. The user then has an idea about the SCP of the entity and can also for themselves determine a notch-specific one by having a look at the key ratios. The scenario tool also offers a table which is called Scenario Analysis. This is showing, for instance, financial data like operating revenue, operating spending, or capital revenue, and also the debt. It is showing predetermined data for the last 5-year actuals and also based on the user's input, the financial data for the next 5 years according to the assumptions made. We hope you found this introduction to our scenario tool helpful. If you have any questions, please contact your designated sales or client service professional.